Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel. First of all, apologies for last week's little wobble. I honestly don't know how to explain it. I'd just been feeling a little bit down for a couple of days before. It came to Sunday morning, time to do the video for next Saturday, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and I don't know why. I think every YouTuber gets the odd wobble sometimes when you think, why am I doing this? What is the point? But all I had to do was read all of the comments that you'd left, and all the lovely comments that you'd left on last week's video, and I thought, that's why you do it. Obviously that's why you do it, because people enjoy it, and you know, when it comes down to it, I love doing it. I can't think of anything nicer than sitting here on a Sunday morning with a brew chatting to you guys. So as I say, apologies for that. It happens occasionally. I shall try to see that it doesn't happen again in the near future. But we'll see how we go. Let me just bring my notes up here, just bear with me a second. Right, first off, I've got a couple of new subscribers. Dan Rutherford. Now I think this one's a personal channel. I think it's just to do with family and stuff like that, but he subscribed to mine, so I will probably be subscribing back at some point. But welcome to the channel, Dan. And also Matt, who calls himself Pugwall 3.16. I'm not sure why. But he does. Now he's got a channel that concentrates on, let's see, interviews, horror shorts, live streams and podcasts. He's got some great content over there, so I mean, if you want to pop over and have a look, feel free. Matt, if you're watching, we've got a wonderful Facebook group that you're more than welcome to post your videos on. There's a link in the bio of my YouTube channel, so if you want to pop over there, just hit the join group, and obviously you'll be accepted straight away. The same for you, Dan. If you're into movies, then you know, feel free to pop over and check that out. But thanks to both of you for subscribing to the channel. Hope you like what we're doing here. What have I got here? Comments on last weekend's video. Scott, my God, you really went for it last week. I thought I got your comments confused with Jason's for a minute, but well done, mate. Excellent video, Tony. Loved it, mate. Thanks, Matt. Scott. Last Night in Soho is a fantastic film. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic horror film. I've not seen it yet. I do want to watch it. I love Edgar Wright's stuff. That's one of his I've not seen. But everybody that I've seen or spoken to that has seen this movie has said it is absolutely amazing. So it's definitely gone on the watch list, and it will be watched, well, very, very shortly, hopefully. Let's see, I have a couple of unpopular movie opinions. I was asking for this last week, just literally movie opinions that everybody else would not agree with. And you've got a couple here. I think The Howling and the original Friday the 13th are overrated. What? Really? I do need to rewatch them at some point though, especially Friday the 13th, as I definitely preferred that over The Howling. I thought they were both excellent. They came out basically on what I would class as the golden age of horror, which is sort of the early 80s. It was all slasher flicks, horror flicks. It was an amazing time. So yeah, I can't agree with that one. What else have I got here? I really like the score and the kills. That's Friday the 13th. The Howl, the score for Friday the 13th is absolutely superb. Harry Manfredini reminded me of Psycho. And I think it was the score that made the movie for me when I first saw it. I thought, that sounds amazing. Let's see, where are we? The kill. But overall, I think it's just a bit slow and boring in places. What? And a little disappointing. What? Really? But definitely you need to rewatch it. I suggest you do. The Howling, I love the transformation scene in it, but other than that, I really couldn't get into it. So you enjoyed about 3 minutes of it. I loved The Howling because the werewolves in The Howling were exactly how I used to imagine werewolves to look. In my worst nightmares, that is what a werewolf looked like. Not Lon Chaney Jr., not even an American Werewolf in London, but The Howling, definitely. So yeah, that was why I enjoyed that one, because it was my idea of what a proper werewolf was. I'm not a massive fan of cruising. which I know is a really popular film directed by William Friedkin, amazing director. Cruising is popular with a certain faction of society. Say, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a bit brutal. It's a bit nasty. It's very dark, but I enjoyed it. But it is very, very William Friedkin. But yeah, I kind of get that. I've heard great things about it. Carry on at your convenience. Looking forward to watching it. Thank you for the kind words about my videos. You're more than welcome, mate. Time Crimes is brilliant. If you enjoy time travel movies, you'll definitely enjoy that one. Really looking forward to getting into that one. I've got something to show you a bit later actually on that. Let's see, blah blah blah. I have seen The Time Machine before, really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen it. It used to be a sort of a regular thing on Saturday afternoon TV. They'd usually pair it with another sort of sci-fi film, something like Journey to the Centre of the Earth, When Worlds Collide, The Day the Earth Stood Still, that kind of thing. So I saw it several times on several different Saturdays years and years ago. Let's see. Great time travel movie recommendations, by the way. You're more than welcome. I have seen The Time Machine. Oh, we've done that. Sorry, I ain't starting again. No way. Haven't seen Time After Time yet, but been meaning to watch it for ages. So I'll definitely have to get that. I would definitely highly recommend it. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. Out of all the time travel movies that I've seen, I would have to say those two are easily my favourites. I enjoyed Back to the Future and stuff like that, but that one was just superb. I'm not excited to watch Carry On Columbus, to be fair. I've heard it's absolute shite. It is. It is. I don't really know anybody, again, that has said that they really enjoyed it. It's just a truly atrocious, awful film. A really bad excuse for a comedy. It just didn't work. It should never have been done. I did hear rumours that they were going to have another go at bringing the Carry On movies back. This was a couple of years ago. I pray to God they don't do it. I really do, because if it didn't work 30 years ago, it sure as hell isn't going to work now. But you know what they're like. They're bound to try it. The Commitments is great. Absolutely agree. Love The Commitments. I highly recommend Are You There, God It's Me. Margaret, really great coming of age film with a lot of heart to it. It's one that I've been meaning to watch for ages. A lady at work recommended it to me. I believe she read the book on which it was based. So yeah, we'll be looking at that. Law Abiding Citizen is brutal. Agreed. Dungeons and Dragons is a lot of fun, really enjoyed it. One that I really want to get into, even though it's based on a computer game and also a board game, I believe, which isn't really my thing, but the reviews I've heard of it basically say that it's for people like me who are not or weren't into the actual game. So I will give it a go. I believe it's landed on Sky Cinema just recently. Let's see. Enter the Dragon is one of my favourite films of all time and looks really good in 4K as well. So tempted by this. I've got Enter the Dragon on 2 or 3 different formats, and I'm just waiting to get to the 4K reviews to tell me that it is worth the upgrade from the Blu-ray. If it is, I may very well invest in that one. I've got another comment coming up in a bit to do with Bruce Lee. Let's see. Tango in the Night is a really good album. I agree. I do believe I've got it upstairs somewhere, but I'm not sure. But I do remember really enjoying that one. Glad you enjoyed it as well. I think Led Zeppelin are an acquired taste for sure, most definitely. Not really my thing. I think I'd be more likely to listen to them now than I would have been 30 or 40 years ago. So maybe I should give that a go. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy Future Past by Duran Duran. Still on my to buy list. That really surprised me. Really glad you enjoyed the videos, mate, and apologies for the super long comment. Don't apologise for long comments, mate. That's what keeps me. That's what keeps me going, keeps me talking. So yeah, you keep them coming, Scott. Jason Kerr, our Ginger Ninja. Saw 2. I wonder if you'll make it past the Pit of Needles. I didn't know there was a pit of needles in it, but it sounds bloody nasty, whatever it is. So there's a very good chance that I won't make it past that. I'm currently going through all the Saw films, and I agree, the original Saw is the best. I've only got that one to match it up against, really, because I've not seen any of the others. But some of the other films do have a lot going for them. The narrative in particular over the first 7 films is really intricate and done well, but it relies too heavily on gore and shock value as the films progress. Yeah, I can well believe that. I saw them again on, I think it's either Prime or Netflix have got them, and I must admit I'm tempted to see whether I can make it through one of them. I'll give it a go. Well, I'll give the original a spin again first, because I can't remember much about it apart from the hacksaw scene at the end. But there's a very good chance that I will at least try one of them and see how I go with it. But I'm fairly sure I know exactly how I'm going to go with it. Enjoyed the vid as always, Tony, and looking forward to finishing off the Logan's Run TV series. Thanks, Jace. Yeah, I'll be curious to know what you make of that. It's a very different thing to the sci-fi series, but it's got the for the sci-fi film, but it's got the same kind of feel to it. I really enjoyed it. I loved that series, and to be fair, I watched the series before I saw the film. I do remember that. So yeah, which do I prefer? I don't know. I'd probably say both of them. I mean, I'm definitely due to watch the series again. Watched the movie a few weeks back. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, I will be almost certainly taking the TV series in again. So let us know what you think of that, Jace, when you finally get round to watching it. Dave Lowe, speaking of Bruce Lee, as we were, and Enter the Dragon, have you seen that Arrow Video have announced and have up for pre-order all the 4K Bruce Lee movies to buy separately, £22 each at the moment? I feel a few purchases coming on. I will hold off to see if Amazon or HMV list them first. I knew they'd do this. We've been deliberating for months, me and you, about buying this. Well, I think it was called Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest box set. And I had a feeling right at the back of my mind that they would release the title separately at some point. Obviously, they won't have like the posters and the art cards and all that sort of thing with them, but that's obviously what bumped the price up to 100. I think it's 130 quid at the moment on 4K. But to buy them separately at one a month, that would make it a lot more affordable. So yeah, I'm the same as you. Even though we said, or we pretty much said that we probably weren't going to do it, and you said that most of the older ones were crap anyway. So, I wouldn't say they were crap. I would say they were probably showing their age now. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing them on 4K, but not to the tune of £130 in one sort of outlay. So yeah, I had read about that a couple of days back, but I forgot to mention it to you when I saw it at work. But yeah, there's a very good chance I will be getting those. Let's see, Steve Mack. Got my 4K Gregory's Girl from BFI. It was only $12.99 due to earlier Amazon price glitch. Lucky there. Definitely. What I'm waiting to hear now, Steve, is it worth the upgrade? Because I've got Gregory's Girl on Blu-ray. Is the picture quality or sound significantly different? The only thing that would definitely persuade me to buy it is I've read it's got an isolated music score. I love the score on Gregory's Girl. The music, I think, is just magic. So it could persuade me to buy it, but I would like to know whether the picture quality is a lot better, as I suspect it probably will be. But you could definitely tell me that when you've actually watched it. Let's see. Let's talk Criterion. Let's talk Criterion. Enjoyed your latest 2 videos, mate. Let's see, La Bamba. I haven't seen that since it was out on VHS, and I believe that was one of the movies that was available or became available when I worked at Stapenall Video in the mid to late 80s. I do remember enjoying it. I don't remember being overly impressed, but I did enjoy it. I thought Lou Diamond Phillips was superb in that, and he's done some good stuff since, particularly a movie called Bats, which I really enjoyed, which was a sort of a kind of a take on Nightwing, which was out 1979ish, Killer, Vampire Bats, that kind of thing. Starred David Warner, marvellous film, and I think Bats was very similar. But La Bamba, I'd definitely be tempted by that, but not with it being sort of region locked. But The Trial, very intrigued by this. I need to read up on it, maybe watch the trailer and watch a few different bits on it. I've never heard of it. I didn't realise it was something to do with Orson Welles. But what you said about it intrigued me greatly. So there's a very, very good chance I will be investing in a copy of that. But once I've seen the trailer and read a few reviews and just get my head round basically what it was that you were saying, it sounded interesting without a doubt. So there's a very, very good chance I'll be grabbing a copy of that. So nice one, Steve. Guy, great vid, mate. Loved basking in the glory of 70 minutes of Tony time. It won't be a regular thing. I don't think it will be, Guy. I'd be very surprised if I could do that. It just happened to run that long. I mean, ideally, what I'd like to do is trim it down to sort of 30 minutes and have 30 minutes of, you know, good stuff rather than 70 minutes of mediocre of me prattling on endlessly about stupid shit. But we'll see how we go. I mean, the thing is, obviously, if I do a 70-minute video, that's an hour and 10 minutes. So you're talking about nearly an hour and a half, which is like 3 different segments that I have to record on this crappy old phone. So you're talking at nearly 2 hours, which I honestly don't mind doing, but it's not giving me any time at all to actually watch movies. And I think that's the one thing now that is missing from this, is me talking about movies that I've actually sat down and watched. I mean, you all pretty much know my circumstances, working 6 days a week. I look after my mother after work for a few hours, and by the time I get home, it's tea and bed, and that's 6 days a week. So Sunday morning and maybe Saturday night is the only time I get to actually watch movies, and I've got to do something about that. I need to. I can't just sit here week after week reading out your guys' comments and commenting on them, and I know you find it entertaining, and I do. I love doing it, but I need to get some movies watched, and I need to be able to talk to you about them. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate, but I can't see it being a regular thing, to be honest. You liking my title ideas? If you like them, use them. Yeah, I'm going to. I've already made my mind up on one, and I'm definitely swinging towards the second one as well, because I think they're great. Movies that made me angry: Batman and Robin, George Clooney. As well as his armour having nipples, for fuck's sake. Seriously, did they? I've not seen that one, so I don't know. When he whipped out the back credit card, that was it. Ridiculous. I walked out of the cinema. I can't remember the last time I actually walked out of a cinema. Well, I do, the last time I went. But it wasn't because of that. I told my mates I'd meet them in the pub afterwards. Adam West could have pulled that off in the 60s, but not Clooney in the 90s. It does sound a bit silly. Again, that's a franchise I need to catch up with. Where was TV from your childhood? I missed it. I completely forgot about it last week. If I'm going to be doing a video on the TV channel, I might include it with that, actually. It seems appropriate to pop it in with that. So if I can do sort of a TV channel video sometime during the course of this week to drop next Sunday, I'll probably include TV from my childhood on that one, because I've got so many. It doesn't even have to be just kids programs. It could be comedy programs, drama programs, horror stuff, anything. Just things that I watched on TV when I was younger. So yeah, it will be back. I just completely forgot about it last week. Chris, enjoy your holes, mate. You're going, is it Kenya and Uganda? You lucky sod. Great vid, sir, and I have been working on my YMCA moves. You do need to. I may even find a Blue Oyster bar to showcase them. What a cracking idea. I honestly think you'll be blown away with Atmos. It just completes the whole home movie setup, and we'll look forward to your first review when it happens. I think I'm going to go for it. When a certain bill is paid off towards the end of this year, it may just be my Christmas present to me. Probably I'll put it from the dog. I usually get the dog to buy me something. So I think I'm probably going to go for it. The movie which got me so mad, I didn't turn it off, however, is Eden Lake. That is a horrible, vile film. I've only seen it once and have no desire whatsoever to sit through it again. Jack O'Connell embodies the role of a dirty, disgusting chav. I've never hated someone as much as I did his character in this, and the ending is how you'd expect his parents to be. I can't remember what his parents were like, but I would imagine a complete nightmare. Um, could I watch it again? I don't know. I just remember it being really, really unpleasant and deeply, deeply disturbing on so many levels. Maybe I do need to take it in again. I'll see on that one. As I'm off to Kenya and Uganda tomorrow, my question is, what animal movie is your favourite? Live action or animation? Either a movie about animals or one that just has them in as actors, Lion King, for example. I don't know. Leave that one with me. I'm transferring that question onto next week's script, so I will come up with an answer on that one. I've got quite a few, but leave that one with me. I will do my best to keep up with the group's videos and posts when I can, but I won't be sad if I have a few hours of Tony time on my return. I think you'll have, the way this is going, I think you'll have at least 40-45 minutes worth to catch up with. P.S. That John Wayne box set, incredible. I will grab a couple for my Western review vids when I'm back, so thank you for that. It's a nice little set, that is. And not one that I would have considered buying were it not for a conversation I was having at work with a lady that I actually worked with. John Wayne was extremely popular in their house when she was young. I think it was her dad or a mum that was into John Wayne, and she saw quite a few of his movies. I, however, have seen one, True Grit. That's the only one I've ever seen. So I thought that would be a good box set to kick off a kind of a John Wayne season. So yeah, you want to nick a couple of the titles off that, knock yourself out, mate. Enjoy your holidays. Mark, pizza and movie night last night in Soho. That one again. That's definitely coming up, Mark. I will be having a go at that one. You will love it. I 110% guarantee it. Don't put it off. I won't, I promise. And it's on Netflix at the moment, so that's a good starting point for it. So I will definitely give that a go. Everybody, as I say, that has seen it, that I've spoken to, recommends it. Even people that I would think, probably wouldn't enjoy it have really, really enjoyed it. So kidulthood, adulthood, brotherhood. I ain't going to get past the first 10 minutes of kidulthood, mate. I'd be very, very surprised if I could. Just the sound of their voices irritates the fuck out of me, and that stupid Jamaican fucking twang that they talk with. Possibly a challenge Tony, but it's probably a challenge Tony that I'd say, no, get stuffed, I ain't watching that again. It was just horrible. It's probably the most, I wouldn't say harrowing, the most horrible first 10 minutes of any movie that I've ever seen. And as I say, there isn't, all the characters in that, I'd just stick them on a boat, sail them out into the deepest part of the ocean and drop the whole sodding lot over the side. They're of no use to anybody, any of these people. I think that pretty much gets the point across. I didn't like it very much at all. A fantastic trilogy of films, in my opinion. That's not me that said that. Fuck off. Nice one, Mark. Yeah. I'll take your word for that one. Great video, loved it. Well worth the wait. Cheers, Mark. Appreciate that. Jason P. Holy crap. Now that's what I call a video. Brilliant, Tony. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. This is definitely the way forward. A nice long video with all points covered, and you were more relaxed doing it with no stress. The outtakes were hilarious. I'm glad you found them funny. My frustration at not getting it right first time. Let's see. Looking forward to TV Zone Sunday. My top TV will finish on November the 30th. I've also got about another 60 movies lined up for the first time on TV Thread. I just post these randomly, but they will all be done by November the 30th. Let's see. P.S. We know you work 6 days a week and look after your mum too, and yet you still use your valuable spare time to do a video for us all. For that, I thank you. You're welcome, honestly. I don't mind doing this. I love doing this. I just wish I had more time to do a sort of a more polished thing. Oh, ignore me. I go off on one like this sometimes about, I wish it could be better, I wish I'd do that. All I really want to do is get more films watched, that is the one thing now, as I said earlier, that is missing from this, is me actually watching movies that I can talk about. But I'm going to make some sort of kind of an effort to put that right. Film franchises that I think are crap. Fast and the Furious. I stopped watching after number 4. I don't know why I kept watching them. I've only seen the first one, which I thought was all right. It was exactly what I thought it would be. Loud cars, loud blokes, loud women, loud music. What more can you say? The Fast and the Furious is what it is. I understand it turns into something completely different after about the 4th or the 5th one. And from what I've heard of the last few entries in the franchise, it gets really, really silly. But I still wouldn't mind seeing it. But I do need to go back and watch the first one again because it's been a while since I saw it. I've got a box set with, I think, the first 6 in. So I will be having a go at them again, for sure. It's just a matter of when. Vinyl is bloody costly now. Used to have a deck. A deck? But never collected vinyl. My first music purchase was a 7-inch single of Altered Images, I Could Be Happy. Can't remember that one. Claire Grogan. Gregory's Girl again. Newsagents used to sell them six months after release. Yeah, with no middles in them silly little plastic things. Then CDs became popular. I have about 2,000 CDs, but not a fan of today's music, so I look for the 60s to 80s tunes. Quite agree with you. I don't know whether it's a sign of getting old or what, but I just have no interest in the music of today. I think most of it is complete and utter drivel. It just does nothing for me. It hasn't done anything for me for quite a few years. I only really go back to maybe 2000, 2001, and after that I completely lost interest. I couldn't name a single thing in the charts. Do they even have a charts anymore? I don't know. I won't have to worry about comparing the original Exorcist to Exorcist Believer, as I thought the original was shit. Fair comment. I can't agree with that one. I thought the original Exorcist was a total masterpiece. Absolutely brilliant. Again, deeply unsettling, and still unsettling now after 50 years. So yes, I am looking forward to taking a look at Exorcist Believer. Glad to hear you have movie banter at work regarding the group. Just shows how popular the group is. Yeah, I guess it does. As I say, that caught me completely off guard. People basically telling me that I was on one of the Facebook pages. So I also cannot say oh Christ, here we go again. I also cannot say Red Rock West without getting the words mixed up, and I still can't do it. Next one, arm wrestling break, Ree the Fly. Oh God, that scene. Arm wrestling used to be an event in the World's Strongest Man until a guy's wrist got broken, the same as in the movie. The BBC didn't show it all, but the aftermath they did. Jesus Christ, I'm glad I never saw that. I don't think I'd have ever watched it again. No, I'm really pleased I didn't see that. Cannot stand any of the Hood movies. Only seen one of them and turned it off for the same reason. I know they're only actors, but I cannot stand that so-called gangster talk. This is the main reason I won't watch things like White Men Can't Jump. What's that one? The Hood. There's something called The Hood. Not Tales from the Hood. Boys from the Hood. That's the reason I won't watch that. And yet I keep getting told that these movies are really, really good. But they just... I can't say they'd do anything for me. Finally, this will boil your piss. It did mine. And still can't understand it. Regarding Ultimate Force TV series being cut on STV Player. Yeah, I was going to buy the TV series Bread on DVD. Classic series. I wasn't a great fan of it, but I do know of it. All 8 series and Christmas specials. I read the reviews and the series is cut on DVD. They have bleeped a lot of swear words and all of Grandad's lines where he says piss off are bleeped. Why? This is a DVD release. If you buy it, you want it how you saw it. This is a subject that I need to come back to. Because I will be here for hours if I start bleating on about this, but you know how I feel about this. Any form of censorship just to me is just not right, and it isn't. But I will be definitely coming back to that point you've made with that. That subject is definitely not dead. Not sure if I said it, but fantastic video, mate. I don't think you realise how good you are at doing these and how much we appreciate you doing them for us. Thanks, Jace. I do appreciate that. I do know it's not easy to sit here for 30 minutes and just prattle on endlessly, but There are people who do this for a lot longer than I do, and with a lot better content than I've got. But yeah, I really, really do appreciate that, and the same goes for all of you. You've all said some lovely things this week, and I do appreciate it. So, right, I'm just going to take a break for a couple of seconds, transfer this off the phone, and I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Cheers. And we're back. Right, where were we? Jason, grandkids are here for the night. I asked them what they wanted to watch. I put the Sky Guide up and Barbie pops up. How could you possibly avoid it? It's everywhere. Yay, can we watch Barbie, Grandad? Please, Grandad. Oh my God, my heart went out to you, it really did. You put, for fuck's sake, hope they get bored with it. There was going to be no chance of that, was there? Never thought I'd be watching this shite, well, until the Chinese opens. And then you put 15 minutes in and quite possibly the worst thing I've seen in my life. Are you absolutely sure about that? I mean, are you just saying this to save face? Mark, I wasn't going to say out in the group as I wasn't prepared for the abuse that would come my way. Unlucky. But I've also had it on for wife and daughter, but to earn some man points I was playing Football Manager the whole entire time that it was on, while you were watching it from... Yeah, I know, Mark. I know exactly how it goes. So, are we to surmise from this that neither of you enjoyed this particular experience? I think you put something a bit later, Jace, that it was so pink that it started to hurt your eyes. I can very well believe that. Very well believe that. But I'm going to take it from those reviews that you are not going to be watching that one again. I've got this one to come yet. I've promised that I will take a look at it. I don't think I'll be buying it on Sky. If anything, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to watch it on 4K, God help me. But I will be taking a look at it. I will also be taking a look at Oppenheimer and 2 or 3 others that I've got my eye on that are coming out hopefully before Christmas. But I'll let you know on that. But well done for admitting that. I was really impressed with that. Ashley McGimsey. Hi Tony, only just got a chance to watch. Was very interesting to see the movies that disappointed. Star Wars 7 to 9 wasn't much better, unfortunately. I didn't think it would be. I believe I've seen The Force Awakens, and the only reason I watched that one was because it was Harrison Ford's comeback as Han Solo. So I don't know. Again, I don't remember being overly impressed with it. But what I have noticed on Disney Plus is that you can watch Star Wars, everything to do with Star Wars, including TV series, movies, animated series, in chronological order. And I would really, really like to do that. And I think the first one is The Phantom Menace. So I will be taking a look at these, but I'll be watching them in chronological order, including series like the Clone Wars. Rebels, I think, is another one. I didn't realise they did this because when I said that I was going to do it, the first thing I thought was, what order should I do it in? Should I watch them in order of release? Is it going to get confusing? You know, when you're constantly referring back to things from movies that have already been and gone. But now I've seen that it's actually in chronological order. That I think is the way forward. So I'll be taking a look at the Phantom Menace soon. And then following it through with all the others. And you look forward to hearing about the movies that surprised you. I'm definitely going to do that, seeing as you posed that question. I am going to flip it on its head and do movies that everybody warned me against and I was desperately avoiding, and I watched and thought, wow, that was brilliant. So yeah, I will be doing that one. Guy and Callie and Guy and Callie and Guy. Now then, Honey Geeky showing Ghostbusters special. Absolutely loved it. Really enjoyed that episode. Were you seriously called the worst YouTubers ever? Seriously? What a thing to say. I mean, just the fact that you read that one out basically shows what absolute and complete and utter crap you think it is, and I totally agree with it. Not with that, with the fact that it is crap. It's absolute rubbish. Keyboard warriors. This is another pet hate of mine. Is people that hide behind a keyboard and type really, really unkind and nasty things, knowing that they can't be found. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's cowardly. So yeah, I would put about that much interest on that one. And as for the Ghostbusters with the practical effects, I absolutely love practical effects like you. I mean, movies like, what have I got here? The Thing. The best advert ever for practical effects. An American Werewolf in London, that was another one. The work of Ray Harryhausen, which was all stop motion animation, absolutely brilliant. Personally, I would love to see someone do a new movie, a kind of not so much a fantasy, but maybe a horror movie with all practical effects. Just basically strip it right down to basics or back to basics and do a movie purely consisting of practical effects. I mean, that would be something, wouldn't it? CGI is all good and well. I do remember seeing Jurassic Park for the first time ever in '93 and thinking, wow, that is incredible. But there just comes a point where it all looks so false and so. Yeah, I would love to see a movie consisting entirely of practical effects, definitely, if it ever happens. And I do love your unscripted and improvised style, by the way. I do enjoy it. Don't ever change that, because it's perfect the way it is, and ignore the naysayers. Fuck them. Just out of curiosity, why was Little Shop of Horrors a major influence on you, Callie? Were you once a man-eating plant, by any chance? Is that what it was? Were you a man-eating geranium? A daffodil? Let me know. Rambo and RoboCop were cartoons? Animated series? Really? And there was a scene with RoboCop in a restaurant with a bow tie on? Seriously? I don't think I'll be bothering with either of those. God knows what Rambo must have looked like animated. I mean, it can't possibly have been as violent, surely. I mean, why was it animated? Was it aimed at children? Why would you aim something like that at kids? I don't know. Ghostbusters 2016, not seen it yet. I mean, to me, it's just Ghostbusters with birds, but I'll see what I think of that one when I actually get. I have got it and I have bought it, but basically because I'm a completist, and I will be getting Ghostbusters Afterlife at some point. So, and I think you're right about the old crew passing the torch on to the younger generation. There is going to come a point where they are just going to look way too old for any of this, and I think now is the time, as they did, to pass the mantle on to the next generation, the younger generation. Even though it will be nice to see them in cameos, but with the actual action, it can't possibly work for much longer, surely. I mean, Bill Murray, God love him, he looks about 102. Bless him. So yeah, and it's an interesting idea about the multiverse, by the way, a crossover between Retro Movie Zone and Calico Productions. I dread to think what that would look like, but maybe one day, who knows. An Extreme Ghostbusters. I've never heard of it. I didn't know there was such a thing. What is it? I need to look into that one. Also, got a chance yesterday to listen to the Terminator episode you did, which I also enjoyed. My God, you were manic on that one. What were you both on? That was mad. Really enjoyed it though. Let's see, the eyeball scene. I had real trouble with that first time I saw it, and I get the feeling I would still have trouble with it now. But I would like to watch that entire franchise again. The only two I've seen are the first two. I think I may have seen Rise of the Machines, but don't remember being overly impressed with it. Was there a scene on the back of a lorry with trees on it or logs on it? I get the feeling, if there is, then I've probably seen Rise of the Machines, but I can't remember anything else about it. But I would love to watch them all. I believe they're all streaming on different channels, apart from the original, which I will be investing in a copy of. I think that for $5.99, I think it warrants that, so I may be grabbing that one very shortly. And also with Stan Winston doing the practical effects, again, practical effects. Stan Winston did the effects on a favourite horror movie of mine. You may have heard of this. I believe now it's known as Pumpkinhead. Many years ago, when I worked at the vid shop, it was actually called Vengeance the Demon. But the practical effects in that were absolutely amazing. And the whole thing was so much scarier for it, I think. Brilliant movie. If you've not seen it, dig it out. I'm sure it's called Pumpkinhead. And Stan Winston, as I say, did the the effects for that one, and the instantly recognisable theme tune from the original Terminator. You can't mistake it for anybody else, for anything else. You're quite right. Yeah, I love that theme. What else we got it? And the Terminator figure. Did I dream that? Did I fall asleep for a couple of minutes and dream that? I'm sure you said there was a Terminator figure available that when you bent it over, rockets flew out of its butt cheeks. Is that serious? I get the feeling I must have been listening to it. I must have nodded off for a couple of minutes and dreamt that bit. But was that straight up, or were you being sarcastic? Or I don't know. Let me know. I just need to know whether I dreamt that segment. But really enjoyed those 2 episodes, guys. Really did enjoy them. So looking forward to the next one, whatever it's going to be. Let's see. Scott, your Q&A. Really enjoyed that. Would you mind if I nicked those questions and answered them myself? Would that be an issue for you? Because I listened to them and I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind answering these myself. So let me know on that. If you don't mind me doing that, then 1 week I'll nick those questions and I'll answer them myself. Just to give me something else to talk about, basically. The 1,000 films to watch before you die list that everybody seemed to do. I only got around to it this week. Let's see. I got, 351 out of 1,187, which actually I didn't think was a bad score considering my reputation for not having seen that many films. Mark, you said he's seen everything on the first 30 pages that no fucker else has heard of. That's not far from the truth, actually. I had seen a lot of the early ones. I'd seen a couple of the silent ones. I'd seen one off the first page, A Trip to the Moon, which I think I showed off on Blu-ray a few weeks ago. But I was quite pleased with that, and I love those kinds of lists. So I'm going to be going back to that site and see if there's any others that we can use. And I'll be doing something to do with that over the next few weeks, I think, because that was a cracking list. Let's see, Rick, your movie, One Night Rental, I believe it's called, the movie that you're making. For those of you that don't know, Rick Mallin, our old AF guy, is making a movie that he stars in, and it's called One Night Rental. It's actually got a Facebook page. Pop over and like it. I think it's like it, isn't it? Yeah, and follow it. There's not much on there at the moment, but as the making of the movie progresses, there'll be a lot more on it. So yeah, pop over and let's support him on that. Let's all like that page. There's a new podcast that I'm listening to at the moment called Scarred for Life. I'll get the books down next week and show you, but if you pop over to either Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, it is Scarred for Life, and it is basically discussing things that traumatized us as kids in the 70s and 80s. The books, I believe, I've shown off before. The podcast is based on the 2 books, one based on the 70s and one based on the 80s. But it is a cracking podcast. I listened to the 12-minute introduction before the first episode comes out, I believe next week or the week after, and it was amazing. I can't wait to hear the first episode. What else have I got here? I think that's pretty much it. I've pretty much covered it all. So it's really just now what I've bought this week. So I'll just drag these across and I'll show you these very quickly, and then I'll let you get on with your day and I can get on with mine. There we go. Let's see. First off, some magazines. More magazines that I ain't going to get a chance to read, but let's see. New issue of Doctor Who magazine. I only seem to be showing the last issue off probably a couple of weeks ago, or it felt it, but I will be having a read through that one. Latest issue of Total Film, which looks as if Wonka is the cover story on that one. Not sure how I feel about that one. And the magazine that panders to my love of independent cinema, Sight and Sound, which has got a cracking interview with Martin Scorsese. Lots of reviews in there as well. I love that magazine. I do enjoy that one. Let's see. Book. This man's movies are amazing. I don't even know where to start with this. Michael Winner. This is the guy that directed Death Wish, The Wicked Lady, movies like that. He's just got such an amazing original style to his movies. They're usually very, very cheaply made. I love this guy. I absolutely love him. I've read a few pages of this already and I can't wait to get into it properly, but this is the life of Michael Winner. Scott, Time Crimes. I couldn't resist it. I read saw your review of it, read a few reviews on the IMDb on Amazon, and thought, do you know what, I'm going to grab a copy of that because that sounds right up my street. I've heard it's a bit of a mind bender, but we'll see. I've yet to get into that. I'm still in the cellophane. And another one that you recommended, The Keeper. Again, read a few reviews of this and thought, I like a good true story. I'm not into football. I don't watch it. I don't follow it. But this sounded like a good true story, so I thought I'd grab that one. This is one, The Bank Job, that was recommended to me by someone at work, Jason Statham. It's something to do with, I don't know what it's to do with, a bank job, I suppose. But I've heard it's a very, very different movie. It's not a heist movie. It is, but it's not. There's more to it than that. So I'm looking forward to having a look at that one. This was also recommended to me by someone at work, A Touch of Evil. This is an Orson Welles movie. And somebody told me that this is an absolute masterpiece. And I've never seen it. So I looked on Amazon, saw a copy for, I think it was £11. I thought, do you know what, I'll have that. It's got some marvellous special features on it, documentaries, trailers, all sorts of things. I know very little about this and I'm going to go into it completely blind, but I've been told it's an absolute masterpiece, so looking forward to that one. And finally, Red Rock West. Determined to say it right. I saw Jason's little mini review of it. There's the dog going off on one. His review of it, and thought it sounded really good, so I thought I'll grab a copy of that. Right, that's it for this week, folks. I'm going to disappear and let you get on with your day. Thanks ever so much for joining me, and also thanks for bearing with me last week. Hopefully there'll be no more little wobbles like that, including the dog going off on one. Take care, have a brilliant week, folks, and I'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Take care, ta-da.